Within the Library tab, you can manage your surveys. Each campaign can only have one survey, but each survey can have multiple questions. You can see here that so far we have 2 different surveys available for our campaigns, where we can edit the survey, look at the questions for that survey, look at the statistics, as well as make this survey active or inactive within our campaigns. Let's first edit an existing survey. In the Content tab, you can change the name of the survey. This is purely for your own purposes. No one will see this name. And you can also set the status, making it active or inactive. Again, an inactive survey would not appear in your list of surveys when choosing one for a campaign. You can also provide some welcome text at the beginning of each question, and you can provide that text here in this simple text editor. Welcome text would appear right above the question. In this case, we haven't added it to this template, but your designers, of course, are welcome to do so. The welcome text would be here, and then your questions, as you can see here, would be below that. If you've made any changes, you can save them by clicking on the Save button. In this case, we haven't, so we'll exit by clicking on the back arrow. You can look at the questions within a survey by clicking on the questions icon, where you can see all of the questions for a particular survey. In this case, there's just 2 questions. You can see the number of options for each question here, and we'll look at editing those options in a moment. You can also see the date the question's been added. You can change the order of questions. Right now, what is your favorite pet is below what is your favorite color. If I click the up arrow, I can now move favorite pet up. If I click the down arrow, I can then move it back down 1 level. I can also make a question no longer available in the survey by changing its status to inactive. As you can see by the grayed out status icon, I'll make it active again. And I can delete a question altogether by clicking on the delete icon. In this case, we'll keep the question, so we'll cancel. To edit a question and its options, you can click on the edit icon for that question, where under the question tab you can edit the actual question itself, the type or the way the options will be presented, whether they're in a checkbox format or a radio format. You can also change the status of the question here, making it active or inactive, as well as the order. Under the Options tab, you can add the options for the question. In this case, for what is your favorite pet, I've put in 4 options here. I can edit any one of these options, and I have up to 16 different options that I can provide for a question. Again, if you make any changes, you'll want to save them, and if not, you can simply back out. You can add a new question by clicking on the New Question button, or you can provide your question. The options type, in this case, we'll make it a checkbox. We can also set the status and the order. In this case, I'll make this question appear last, and then we can provide options for it. And then save our work. We can now see my new question here down at the bottom in the order I specified, and in this case I'll choose to move it up 1 level, making it now second. I'll go back to my survey, of which I now have 3 questions. To see this in action, I can look at my demo site, where I can see my first question here. I can choose an answer. Clicking on Next Step then brings me to my second question. And Next Step again will take me to my third question. To add a new survey, you can click on the New Survey button, where you can then provide the name and determine its status. You can also provide welcome text. And when you've completed that, you can save your new survey. Once creating a new survey, of course, you'll then need to add questions to it. You can look at the stats for each of these surveys. where you can see the campaign that it's been used on, as well as the number of responses per question. And again, you can add one survey per campaign, and each of these surveys can have multiple questions.